Welcome to the Weekday Report for Friday, July 26th. I'm Joe Potente. Here's a brief look at the news. Echo Lake Foods in Burlington now faces $150,000 in fines for safety violations discovered days before a fire destroyed the plant in January. The 27 OSHA violations were announced Thursday. They include 17 so-called serious violations at the Burlington facility and additional infractions at a Franksville frozen food production plant. A January 30th fire caused $40 million in damage to the Burlington plant, which is now being rebuilt. Jurors convicted Joseph Stortz Thursday for the 2011 arson of Horn Trevor Feeds. The 42-year-old Trevor resident was charged with arson, burglary, theft, and criminal damage to property. The trial now enters its next phase, in which jurors will consider Stortz's mental state at the time of the crime. The man accused of causing a crash that killed a woman and seriously injured a 4-year-old girl last week in Pleasant Prairie was charged Thursday. 39-year-old Dean Parkman of Bristol faces a charge of homicide by negligent use of a motor vehicle, plus 2 counts each of reckless driving causing great bodily harm and reckless driving causing injury. The July 16th crash at Highway 165 and 120th Avenue resulted in the death of Leticia de la Cruz Chavez Puente of Mexico. 2 women were taken to the hospital for injuries that were not life-threatening this morning after a rollover crash at 39th Avenue and Roosevelt Road. The 3-vehicle crash occurred about 9 a.m. when an SUV attempting to make an illegal left turn onto 39th Avenue from Roosevelt Road collided with a westbound van and was pushed into a construction truck stopped at a red light. The crash caused the SUV to flip on its side. The annual Taste of Wisconsin Festival is making its 5th appearance on Kenosha's lakefront this weekend. The Kiwanis Club of Western Kenosha event begins this afternoon and runs all day Saturday and Sunday at Celebration Place at 56th Street and 1st Avenue. This year's festival includes 42 food vendors, including more than a dozen new ones, and more than 80 musical acts. A preview of the event is in today's Get Out Entertainment section. This week's Fix It feature takes us to a tiny, city-owned cemetery surrounded by the Whitecap subdivision on the north side of Highway 50. Here's Bill Guida with more.
Thanks to voluntary action by a parent and a child living near Vale Cemetery, overgrown weeds and vines no longer hide some headstones and grave markers. Under a 1991 agreement with the Whitecaps developer, the City of Kenosha Parks Department has been mowing the lawn in the 1-acre burial ground the past 22 years. Beyond that, it was unclear whether surviving family members were responsible to maintain grave sites, some dating to before the Civil War. Now, spurred by concerns expressed and actions taken by that parent and child, city officials say a plan is underway to ensure Vale Cemetery remains properly groomed. This is Bill Guida reporting for your Kenosha News.
What's trending today? Construction appears to be winding down on 30th Avenue on Kenosha's north side. If you were mayor, which Kenosha street would you rebuild next? Tell us on our Facebook page. Up next is Ian Thibodeau with Voices on the Street.
I'm out at Coyne Sports Bar on 52nd Street in Kenosha to figure out if people think that Ryan Braun's suspension was justified or maybe a little too lenient.
Yes, I do.
Why is that?
Anybody uses steroids or drugs like that just to make yourself better? You can't do it.
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Should not be able to use enhanced drugs. Babe Ruth, none of those people were using enhanced drugs. So.
Definitely justified. Well, first of all, the secrecy. I feel bad just because if he would have come forward in the beginning, we're finding out with all these sports heroes and things that this is out there. But when caught, he pulled some other people down with him, and that was very unfair to them. They were innocent.
For the Kenosha News, I'm Ian Thibodeau.
Thanks, Ian. Now here's a look at what we're working on today. Congressman Paul Ryan will talk immigration reform at a Hispanic listening session in Racine this afternoon. Deneen Smith will be there. And Diane Giles has this week's Sunday Choice feature, a look at battling blight in Kenosha. Pick up a copy of the Kenosha News and check kenoshanews.com for all the details on these stories and more. I'm Joe Potente with the Weekday Report.